It started 5 or 6 years ago when I met or was introduced to a gentleman named Gary Christensen, who is a Lakota man that grew up on Pine Ridge. And one day he was talking to me about what his life was like growing up on the reservation, and what he described to me sounded like a third world country. And together he and I came up with the idea to create a project where we would go and gather clothing, food, blankets, and take it up to the reservation and deliver it. And the first year we went, just he and I took a truckload up. It was a fairly small truckload, and we would drive around and deliver it. After that trip, that was the first time I'd been up there. I had no idea what to expect, and after being there, I got the idea that we need to try to make this a little bigger and take students along so that they could have the experience of seeing this as well.
But we're running out of time. We've only got about a month and a half to put this together, and we're going. It looks like I was going to go the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th of December, but that's the weekend before finals, and that's poor time.
The worst part of this whole trip is the getting ready to go, is the gathering the materials, finding a place just to physically store it until we go, getting boxes to box it all up, getting it boxed, getting trucks lined up to take people up there, or the goods up there, and to take, getting transportation for all the people that are going. It's a very big job just to organize all of that.
One of the things that worries me is that we have very little stuff coming in. Now, what often happens is it starts out this way. It starts out kind of slow, and then all of a sudden you see an avalanche of stuff that comes in. We have, as it starts to come together from Galveston High School, who are collecting things as well. I haven't talked to them recently, but I know that they want to be involved. There is a group of air cabins that's putting things together, and they're bringing over. But I want to keep, as much as possible, all the food separate and baby stuff separate, and then from there it's not too bad to kind of dig around and get things worked out. As it turns out, we have far more stuff than we can take. So here's what's going to happen. Anything that's left, they're going to load up, and he has called around to different churches and organizations, Fountain up to Pine, and they're going to unload everything and deliver it. We keep this real simple. You know, this isn't a go have fun camping trip. This is kind of get up there and do our thing and get back. The food is going to be pretty simple. Everybody will, and I kind of had this on here, so just bring like a bowl and a spoon and one of those insulated cups. You can eat anything we're going to fix. So, you know, we're not going to be doing fine dining with China. One of the hardest parts of this trip I've done, and I'm not sure I've felt the ramifications from it completely yet, and that is choosing who's going to go. Because there were a lot of people that wanted to be a part of this that I had to say no.
You get a group of people most of the time who've never been someplace like this, and so it's a brand new experience for them. And it's interesting to work with them to try and explain what they're going to see and what's going to happen. And it always seems to me there's a lot of excitement involved, a lot of just amazing goodwill towards the people that we're going up there to try and help. I'm always amazed at the hard work that people put into it. So I always end up with an incredible group of people that go, and I've always been very pleased.
The trip started one cold morning with a bunch of high school students from Pine Creek High School, some very caring individuals as students and teachers. We went up and made the trip in what seemed to be record time. And on the way we were able to see a number of historical sites, including Carhenge, which was really interesting. And then when we got to Pine Ridge, probably one of the most important things that we were able to do is immediately get involved with the culture.
The first time I went up there, it caught me off guard. I wasn't prepared for what I saw. Initially, when you pull into these little towns where the most of the people live, well, you see houses and there's stores and all. And at first you think, well, no, this isn't quite as nice where I live, but it's not bad. But then you start going into the homes and you start seeing the reality of the life. And the poverty, all of a sudden, it just starts slapping you in the face.
One of the other things that we were able to do immediately at Pine Ridge was to have an immediate impact on the people living there on the reservation. We were able to go out, provide food to the folks, to give clothes, to provide some of the daily things of life that make it important for them to be able to survive in that type of a climate.
So where do we put it?
In that little trailer over there.
Put it down? Oh my God. I play chicken and I always win.
You see the lack of nutrition for the kids. You see the alcoholism that is a part of what's there for a lot of reasons. You see the hopelessness as much as anything. And at first that's real hard to see. And then if you travel out of the towns and go out onto the prairie, it seems like a lot of the elders live out. And they're living out there with little bits of nothing. But the thing that always strikes me every time I go up there is they're some of the happiest people I've ever been around. There's a tremendous amount of unemployment, and a lot of that has to do with where the reservation is situated in the world. It is in a spot that is a long distance from any major towns that would have much in the way of employment. For the Lakota people, home, family, the land on which they live on is very important to them. And so it's difficult to leave that. But if you want a job, you're put in a spot where you have to leave. And so it's kind of a catch-22 of, do we leave and go get a job? Do we stay here with our family? Do I stay where I grew up? What are my choices? And so there is a lot of unemployment. There is a lot of alcoholism. Over the years that I've been going there, it seems to me that the alcoholism is an issue that's really being addressed more and more there. It's still a real problem, but I think people are realizing what a problem it is and trying to work with it more now.
I got involved in Pine Ridge for two reasons. One reason is I wanted to take a look at what I could do in terms of cultural relations and cultural teaching. And I wanted to figure out a way that I could bring U.S. history to life in a way that was unique and different. The second thing that happened to me is I met Don Bourne, and I've known Don Bourne for a few years now, and we share similar interests in providing an experiential opportunity. And this not only did that in terms of satisfying my first objective in U.S. history, but also helped students to understand the importance of volunteering and helping other people in a culture that in many ways is like a third world nation right in our own backyard.
I think the students enjoy having that opportunity to just talk. And the people up there absolutely love having the kids come up. And they love to tell stories and talk about who they are and where they came from.
We start riding. And everybody owns a bicycle, but I didn't. So When I was growing up, I was selling hot bottles, and I ended up having maybe $36. And my bicycle was $32. Nice. 24-inch bike.
I think it gives both the people up there an opportunity to be very proud of who they are and say, this is our life, this is who we are. And at the same time, it gives the students an opportunity to hear the truth of what is there, because they hear the good things and the bad. And I've always seen students interact in a very positive manner. I've really enjoyed having that chance.
Hold on, everybody.
They absolutely love it. At this point, we've been going up there often enough now that they look forward to us coming. There's a number of people who we see every year, and it's a treat for them to have all these people come in, bright shining faces, and it breaks up the monotony that can develop when you live in a rural area like that. They truly appreciate the things that we bring. You have old people come up who cannot say thank you often enough. You have young girls with babies who are crying because they didn't have things that they now can have. And so they really look forward to us coming, and it's always been a very positive experience for everybody.
I think we're going to have these.
I like this.
I
like my professional showing jacket that I wear to all my shows.
30s, but a little bit.
You know, it started out as just, I thought what would be a one-time thing with Gary and I making a run up there. After doing it that one time, when you come back from that, this feeling of both feeling really good that you had the opportunity to do something for these people, and at the same time just almost feeling guilty for having the life that I have, knowing that they don't and probably never will have that.
I like it
The experiences that come about just amaze me. I purposely try to not plan very much when we get up there, because every year when we go up, whatever is supposed to happen happens. People who need something that we can give just seem to show up. One year there was an elderly lady living out on the prairie. She was in her 80s, raising her 3-year-old granddaughter in a trailer that was a shell with no electricity, no running water. I don't think I will ever forget this woman coming to the door of this trailer, and the door was nothing but a piece of plywood wired on, just crying her eyes out, and this little girl peeking around at her going, I can't believe you're here. We would have died tonight. We almost froze last night. We happened to have plastic that we could plastic up all the windows. We cleaned the whole place. They had no food. There wasn't a single toy in there. We unloaded stuff. We chopped wood. And those kinds of things just present themselves.
Bring more food up there.
Hold on, everybody.
It developed a real personal commitment for myself that this was something that I needed to do for a while in my life. And it was something that I needed to continue to do for a while. And it has led me through now, I believe it's 5 trips that we've made up there.
Next year I will be taking the project over, in a sense that I will kind of be managing the project. We're hoping to make that a part of the curriculum here at Pine Creek. So the students that actually sign up for a particular U.S. history class will be asked to go along. Mr. Bourne, after many years of service to the project, will kind of be helping in a helping role. We're going to continue the process by involving members of the community, involving people like American Eagle Trucking, who graciously helped us last year provide storage and some transportation for the materials that we took up to Pine Ridge. We will be involving more community members and hopefully make this bigger than ever before. I know many other schools in the area. Falcon High School was one of them that was able to help us with Air Academy High School, and we want to continue that in the future.